Experiments are the Cadillac of research, the top of the line, the only form of research that can determine causality. Most studies in psychology are experiments, and this is why psychology is a science. So unlike sociology, anthropology, etc., this is why psychology majors pay the same science fee as biology and chemistry majors. And be aware, oftentimes studies are implicitly or explicitly called experiments by the media when they are not. In order to conduct a real experiment, you must do three things. Let me repeat that. In order to conduct a real experiment, you must do three things. First, you must manipulate the independent variable. You cannot just measure both variables like you did in correlational research. So first, you must manipulate the independent variable. Two, you must measure the dependent variable. And three, you must control everything else. So if you wanted to study, say, whether sleep deprivation causes weight gain, you can't just go find people who have suffered sleep deprivation and ask if they experienced weight gain. That would be the easy thing to do, but that is just measuring each. So that is not an experiment. It is just correlational research. And correlational research, remember, only tells us if there's a relationship, not what causes what. To find out if sleep deprivation causes weight gain, we would need to, one, manipulate the IV, independent variable, which is sleep deprivation in our example. And that means actively preventing half of our participants from sleeping. And then two, measure the dependent variable, the DV, weight gain in both groups. If we randomly assign participants to our deprivation group and non-deprivation group, and the two groups don't experience anything else different in our sleep lab. In other words, we've controlled everything else. And there is significant weight gain in the deprived group. It has to be because of the sleep deprivation, because we controlled everything else. And that, my friend, is an experiment. Quickly, some terminology review. The independent variable, IV, is the one you vary to find your answer. In our example, we vary whether or not a participant is deprived of sleep. The DV, or dependent variable, is what we measure at the end, the outcome, to see if the independent variable had an effect on it. So in our example, the dependent variable would be weight gain. Also remember, the experimental group in the study gets the IV manipulation, while the control group does not. So with our sleep deprivation study example, the experimental group gets sleep deprived. The control group does not. By the way, sleep deprivation does cause weight gain. To learn more surprising facts about sleep and dreaming, take my upper level class. All right, let's see if you can identify the IV, DV, experimental group, and control group in each of these studies. Note, this is not a matching activity like most of our TYL activities. For each of these studies, 1 through 5, identify all 4 items in the yellow box. This is a 3-minute challenge. See if you can get them all right in 3 minutes. Ready and go. Okay, so time is up. Let's compare answers here very quickly. So number one, the IV is sleep deprivation and the DV is learning. Experimental group, those who are sleep deprived. The control group, those who are not. Number two, the IV equals perceived fairness. The DV is employee morale. The experimental group, those who experience fair policies. The control group, those who do not. Number three, the IV is secrecy, the DV is allure. Experimental group would be those who must keep their relationship a secret. The control group, those who do not. Number four, the IV is audience, the DV is performance. The experimental group would be those who get an audience, and the control group, those who do not. Number five, the IV is time married. The DV is looking alike. The experimental group would be those married a long time, and the control group, those married a short time. Refer back to number four here. Performance is boosted by the presence of an audience. Can you believe that besides human beings, one researcher even found this in cockroaches? He would teach cockroaches a maze and they would perform it pretty good. And then he found out that they performed it significantly better when they were in front of an audience. Pretty funny, huh? Here's a slide I made to represent this study. Now you can see how I spent my entire weekend.